I think it had some of the best sounds, probably one of the best soundtracks in the Sonic game, outside of Sonic CD. Because again, everything about Sonic CD is fucking fantastic. Almost everything, but pretty much everything. I don't know. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is just really cool, man. It's just really, really cool. It had a... It has this vibe of, like, they made Sonic the Hedgehog, and it was, you know, it did well, and everyone was like, hey, this is really cool. Look, now we that fucking went with Sega, now we have something. Look how cool it is. Which, you know, in the fucking 90s, Sonic the Hedgehog was the, holy shit. That's literally never happened before. I'm glad I got footage of it. It was the epitome of cool and 90s dude or whatever the shit. But, yeah, it's like after the first one did really well, it's like the second one just has this vibe of them being like, fuck it, let's go nuts, man. Which I can respect. I always really like that. When you've got the first entry in fuck it, in a series or whatever, or like if somebody's like introducing a new IP and it does really well, and then, you know, they have the ability to do a second one. I always like when they're like, well, fuck it, let's take what we learned from the first, enhance it, make it better, and then after we're done doing that, let's just go nuts with what's left. It's just, it just usually makes the second entry in and this goes for movies too, I would say. The second entry in most series is usually the coolest or the best, just in my experience. Unless it's like a Jack and Daxter situation or a... Oh no, even then, I was gonna say, because I was thinking about the games that are like where the game series where the second entries are just like radical departures from the first, and I'm slowly realizing that a lot of the games I played as a kid are like that. Jack and Daxter's like that, Sly Cooper's like that, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger is like that. They're all hell, even the first Crash Bandicoot is like that. They're yeah, the second entries in the series are all like just radical departures from their predecessor, which is cool. I like that, and I'm slowly sitting here realizing that a lot of my favorite games are something too. Huh. Yeah, because I prefer Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2. I prefer Crash Bandicoot 2. I prefer Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I prefer Jack 2. But, oddly enough, as cool as it is, I prefer the first Sly Cooper to Sly Cooper 2. So, I don't know. It's not a perfect science. It's just a passing thought, really. So I really want to play more PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games on this channel. Strictly because YouTube and the internet at large, and nothing against it, I fucking love Nintendo games as much as the next guy. Nintendo games are fucking awesome, man. They are legitimately awesome. Nintendo, when it's doing its best, does fucking incredible. Nintendo at its best is some of the best fucking... Nintendo at its best creates and has created some of the best fucking gaming experiences that you can or will ever have. Like, and that goes for, like, classic Nintendo, like back in the NES, SNES days, Goes for Nintendo. A lot of the shit they did with the Nintendo 64, and even now today, when they're back on their feet with a Nintendo Switch, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey. These are literally some of the best fucking funnest video games I've played in a very, very, very long time. So yeah. And then I like Nintendo as much as the next guy. Do not get me wrong. Nintendo. Oh, I failed this one. Goddamn. Nintendo's fucking great, man. But the internet, YouTube, and the internet at large has enough Nintendies, has enough Nintendo fanboys. There are enough channels dedicated to oh, Nintendo this, Nintendo that. Look at Nintendo. I grew up with Nintendo. Nintendo raised a generation. And that's all fine and dandy, man. You know, I met. You got people like Nintendo. You've got fucking Game Grumps, where it was like primarily Nintendo when they fucking started out, and that's fine, man. Like so speaking of, like, I've met Nintendo. I met Nintendo at OMG Con, and he's a super cool, super friendly dude, man. And he makes good content. I have nothing against his content. I have nothing against people that grew up with Nintendo. Well, I think I'm fucked here. I had 200 goddamn rings. That grew up with Nintendo and just want to share their love of Nintendo content with the world. But like, outside of like Cat Icarus or something, there aren't really many people that, like, at least on YouTube, that create, you know, video content that are. Oh, sweet. Well, I guess I'll just keep 226 here. That's interesting. I thought that the rings were reset to 0 when you. There's our first death, by the way. But yeah, there aren't many people or channels that are like doing the PlayStation thing, especially not PlayStation 2 era, which is just a fucking bummer, man. So yeah, I wanna play a lot more fucking PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games on this channel. You know, share some of the shit that I grew up with, that I am most familiar with, you know? And I'm sure you can get in the comments and be like, well, actually, and point out like a dozen fucking people that are like, that do the PlayStation thing. But, God fucking Christ damn it, this boss fight is horse shit. Absolute horse shit. All the way to the fucking bank, it's horse shit. This boss fight fucking sucks. But, I don't know, that's kind of like Sonic game formula. Every Sonic game has to have one completely bullshit boss fight that is one of the weakest points of the game. I'm just gonna cheese this. I don't give a shit. I'm cheesing this because this boss fight is complete bullshit. So, and since I have the ability to cheese it, why wouldn't I, you know? Oh, fuck you! God damn it! Man. I had 8 fucking lives. No, I had 9 lives when this started, right? Oh, you sack of fucking garbage, you fat piece of shit. One day to be played by Jim Carrey and probably the lowest point of his life. Whatever. We're just going to have to be patient. We're just going to have to be fucking patient. Because that's the only way we're getting through this goddamn fucking stupid boss fight. Like, you set it up, you fucking... Really, it's... Usually with stuff like this, it's just one minor design choice that fucking makes the entire thing just hot fucking burning garbage on a summer's day. And in this case, it's... you've set this boss fight up around like pinball or whatever, and that's fucking fine. Sonic CD had a similar one, and that one's really not that bad. But But then you like so from here, the main way of attacking is like coming up and like this, and you'd have to like angle off the wall or whatever, or bounce up, and it's intending you to bounce up and like come down and hit him on the top. But more often than not, you're gonna smack him on the bottom of his thing, and you put the fucking little electric bolt there that fucking zaps the shit out of you and takes all your rings away every time you hit him. And you're like 80% of the time gonna hit him from the fucking bottom because of how that boss arena is designed. So just get rid of the fucking electric bolt and that fucking boss fight wouldn't be nearly as difficult. God damn. I was saying something before that boss fight. Oh yeah. PS1 and PS2 games. I want to play more of them. I'll play more of them when I talk about more of them, because I don't feel like enough people are doing it. And we've reached a point where, I think we've reached a point where, because like I'm 25 now, and probably so are most of the people that grew up with the PlayStation, like I did, and grew up in the 90s. So I think it's time for the I think the kids that grew up in the 80s with you know, Nintendo and everything, which I have the utmost respect for. I play goddamn everything, so it's not like I'm not well versed in the 8 and 16-bit eras. But I think it's time for the guys that grew up in the 90s to step up and start showing the kids something other than fucking Fortnite and shitty battle royales, because the state of the video game industry isn't great right now. So you know, which I mean, in a sense, that's kind of like we have to. Like anyone else out there that, like me, grew up in the 90s with the PlayStation, the PS2, the original Xbox, that sort of thing. It's like we've got to. We got to step up, because the way it works is that, you know, in the early 2000s with the rise of YouTube or whatever, and when we were still man, what's the best way to put this? So like, we grew up playing our fucking PS1s and PS2s. PS2 best-selling console of all time, you know. God. Fuck mothering, damn it. What the fuck just happened? I forgot to save when I got here. Oh well. But yeah, PS2 best-selling console of all time, whatever. Like, we, like, around the time that the internet really started becoming what it is today, we had spent an entire childhood with, you know, these games, and that was our childhood. That's what we knew. But then the rise of YouTube came along, and dudes like the Angry Video Game Nerd gained prominence, and suddenly, us in our teenage years now were introduced to the world of video games right before what we had always known. And we got super interested. We were like, holy shit, check this shit out. Now, it can be argued that there was a lot of overlap without that, but I would also, I would say that the rise of YouTube and shows like the Angry Video Game Nerd did a lot to help the fucking the overlap, because suddenly there were for anyone that wasn't already in the know, they looked at fucking they looked at these shows, they saw fucking oh, I thought I could go in there, these shows and stuff, and they're like, God, what's the best way I want to put this? Basically, they saw this shit, and suddenly they're like, oh, what's all this shit? What's all this? Is it Metroid? There's Metroids before Prime? Suddenly, like, they're seeing all this shit and they're being like, oh, okay, so that's where Samus Aran is from. That's the origins of Zelda or whatever, or fucking Mario, blah blah blah. And they're like, all right, man, look at all this really cool shit. Look at fucking Yoshi's Island. Look at goddamn Super Mario Brothers 3. Look at all this really fucking cool, super cool shit. And I don't know. I think what I'm trying to say is coming across, but as history has shown, I'm not good at like actually verbalizing what I mean and putting it to words. I can put it to paper, no fucking problem, but I'm not super good at putting it to words. But yeah, but I think what I'm getting at is coming across though. So now we need to fucking do the same thing that was done for us for the next generation, because the next generation is something is wrong with them, dog. Like something bad happened. I thought my generation, I thought the millennials were fucking disenfranchised. Like, every millennial I know, including myself, is just like fucking, is the most apathetic son of a bitch, because truly, what is the goddamn point, right? Like, the American dream left every single one of us behind on September 11th, 2001, and nothing's ever been the same since, but at the same time, like, that's mostly the only life that we've really known. Like, yeah, we can vaguely remember what shit used to be like, but for the most part, man, post 9/11 is just what we've known. So, yeah, we're a pretty apathetic bunch because of stuff like that, but for however bad we think we have it, generation after us has got it worse, man. Because they were raised like, they don't remember a time post 9/11. Or pre 9/11, I mean. It's entirely post 9/11. This is all they've ever known. So, like, the reason I think the millennial generation, the reason we're so apathetic is because we, like, yeah, I mean, we know how things could have been, how they maybe should have been. But, you know, you don't always get what you want in life. So it's like, fuck it, man. This is just the hand we've been dealt, I guess. So we're just kind of letting it ride. And I think it's the fact that we know that there was something better and that there could still probably be something better, is why we're not just like completely fucking like just at absolute odds with the entire world. Whereas the generation right after us, everything has always sucked. Everything has always fucking sucked. It sucked when they got here, and since they've been here, everyone, just about everybody older than them has blamed them for it. So, well, they've blamed us, even though we didn't do a goddamn thing, but has blamed them more or less for it sucking, even though it was fucking broken and it sucked when they got here. So, what kind of fucking tangent am I even on right now? I have no idea. But, yeah, so shit's rough for them, man. They've grown up in an entirely post 9/11 world. It's never been anything but post 9/11 to them. So yeah, I don't know. They're just they could use a hand. They could use some help. They could use somebody, you know, putting a hand on their shoulder and being like, "Come here, shut up, sit down, play this game. It's called Crash Bandicoot. No. This is the original one on the PlayStation before the remake. Here, trust me, you'll love it. It's great." Or just being like, "Here, it's called Sly Cooper. It's super fucking cool." Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm on about. But I'm going to end this episode so I can get off of whatever I'm on about. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, click like to let me know that you did. If you want to keep up with everything this channel does, hit subscribe. And if you want to stay notified whenever we upload, please ring the notification bell so that you can be sure to set fire to your PC whenever it happens. And until next time, I will see each and every one of you in whatever video comes next. Goodbye.